We're here with Jo Pavey today, who was guest of honour at the 4J Studios Annual Awards this year. Thank you very much for joining us today, Jo.
Thank you very much for having me. The awards night was fantastic, so well done to everyone. It was such a great night.
Glad to hear it. I think everyone enjoyed hearing from you who was in the room, and we thought we'd perhaps have a little chat today for people who weren't able to be there and have a little chat about some of your experiences and about Jog Scotland. Just by way of introduction, Jo is a world, European and Commonwealth medalist and 5-time Olympian. She famously won the 10,000 metre gold at the World Championships at the age of 40, and I think 10 months after the birth of her second child, which lit the hearts, I think, of every 40-year-old plus runner who saw it happen, including those of us who knew we were never going to emulate anything like that, but it was certainly an inspiring moment. Jo's also a huge advocate of the benefits of running and being active for your physical and mental health all the way through life. So it was great to see her helping us celebrate some of the Jog Scotland winners in Glasgow on Saturday. And we had 4 Jog Scotland winners. Alison Miller-Duff of Ready Steady Go Pavey, who was our Achiever of the Year. Neil Nairn of Fenwick Striders, who was Leader of the Year. Let's Go Linlithgow with Group of the Year. And the Sam H Mental Wellbeing Award went to Joanne Tominey of Jiggly Joggers. And it'd just be nice to hear from you, Jo, having heard all of their stories. What was your impression of the Jog Scotland community, of what some of its strengths are and perhaps what it brings to the wider athletics community in Scotland?
Yeah, I just think it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, the fact that Scottish athletics, you know, associated with Jog Scotland, the fact that you've got that link between people like elite runners at clubs and then you've got the running community, and it's so important. Jog Scotland is so inclusive, and I'm so impressed with the work that's done to get everyone involved in running. Everyone can then get the benefits to physical and mental health, and you know, the brilliant group leaders that are running the groups, and you know, allowing people with all abilities to gain that experience, whether they start off walking then adding a bit of jogging. And it's just so fantastic to see. And the award winners that Jog Scotland had that night were awesome. You know, luckily I got to meet lots of them. I was really thrilled and honoured about that, to be able to meet them. And you know, like you've mentioned, you've got Let's Go Lithgow, the Linlithgow, say it properly.
It, yeah.
You know, their 3rd anniversary. You know, now they've got 15 jog leaders and leading 5 sessions a week, and absolutely brilliant work. And you know, the Achiever of the Year, Alison Miller-Duff, you know, coming back from having a kidney transplant to run a half marathon. I mean, that is just so inspiring, and you just feel humbled to hear of stories like that. And obviously lovely to meet Joanne Tominey, Mental Wellbeing Award. She is really, really lovely and cheerful and bubbly, and I just feel so inspired by the fact that she's gone from feeling quite stressed with being a working mum with 2 boys with health conditions, and then she's gone on to become a run leader as well as run half marathons. I mean, absolutely amazing. And then obviously you mentioned Neil Nairn with Fenwick Striders, setting up all the running groups, getting his whole village involved in a half marathon, and just doing so much work towards mental wellbeing himself, and you know, being involved with charities to do with mental health issues as well. I mean, the people there are amazing, but just all the shortlisted people as well. I mean, unbelievable community, and well done to everyone involved in Jog Scotland.
Thank you, Jo. That's great. And I think one of the things that comes out of looking at all of our nominees and the community more generally is that there's more to running than just speed. And there are all sorts of different aspects, like the social benefits of being part of a group and the mental health benefits. Is that something that you find perhaps yourself becomes more important as you're moving on through life, that perhaps at one point you had to be focused just on competition because that was a real priority, but now you're able to look around and really appreciate some of the other things that running can offer?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've enjoyed running for many years, and yes, it has been enjoyable to go to championships and have all those experiences. But I think the main thing that's kept me running all these years is everything about the running community. You know, the benefits to mental health, and that's meeting with other people and getting out in the fresh air, and everyone can experience that. It doesn't matter what level someone is running at, they can all benefit from getting out, meeting with others, getting active, and just the benefits to physical and mental health are so massive. And that's definitely a big part of why I like keeping running at this age. I always call myself a runner, and like my husband and I yesterday even went out to Dartmoor and ran together, and we just felt really like boosted when you get back to get out in the great outdoors. And I just think Jog Scotland are doing such great work with the groups and the run leaders, encouraging people, getting more people active, and it's going from strength to strength, and it's so brilliant to see.
Brilliant. And you touched on the mental health benefits there. What does that look like for you as a tool just for your day-to-day well-being? Is it something that you use as a real sort of stress relief, or something that you just know you have to keep doing in the background to keep things on an even keel? How do you find that connection works for you?
Yeah, I find that getting out, getting in from a run, when you get back, you just feel more able to face all the other busy challenges of life. We've all got busy lives, whether it's juggling family life, work life, and getting out and being active. I think when you get back in, you just feel like de-stressed and ready to face the rest of the challenge you've got, and just feel like better about yourself. You feel more like you can handle life, and you just feel good when you get back in. And I think the word has spread in the running community, hasn't it, how good running is for mental health. And Jog Scotland have definitely made massive strides to encourage more people to reap the benefits of getting out and going for a run and joining with other people and running with them as well.
And how do you manage that? You talk about having a busy life. So many people have busy jobs, family commitments, all sorts of different things. Do you make a point to plan your runs? Do they go in the diary in advance so you know that they're unshiftable? Do you have set times that you always run? How does that work for you?
I'd say that I'm quite flexible with what I'm doing, just working around family life. So I do definitely try and get out running every day, and sometimes I'm still running twice a day because I just run when I can. I mean, often my second run could just be going on the treadmill for half an hour, and then sometimes running, obviously when the children are at school. But a big thing I like doing is getting out and being active with the family. If we can all go somewhere and be active, whether the kids are on their bikes or running a bit, things like that, or just going out for the day and sort of combining that with nipping off for a quick run. I think if you can keep active as a family, enjoy that quality time together as a family, it really helps to boost, getting fit, but also having that quality time, and also showing your children that it's fun to be active, I think is an important thing. But yeah, I mean, as far as doing sessions like track sessions, I do go to the track now and again, but it's definitely sort of fitting around family life. So I do have a schedule, but it's kind of a very flexible plan, and it works around things. And I think if you prioritize the important aspects of training, you can go for the goals that you're aiming for, but most people just get out there and enjoy it. I think that's the main message.
Brilliant. And you have quite a lot of good advice on your website, especially for beginner runners, joepavey.com, for anyone who wants to go and have a look. And I know one of the things that you talk about there is advice perhaps for people who are nervous about going out and running in public. And especially in group running, we hear a lot, "Oh, I can't go and run with you, I'll only hold you back." People that are perhaps nervous about being seen out running and in their running kit. What are your tips for people like that who are perhaps considering taking their first steps?
I think the things say it's only natural. I mean, when I was first going to go to an athletics club, I was worried, would everyone be too fast, or what's it going to be like? But what you must realise is the running community is the most welcoming community you could ever have, and there's so many running groups, the Jog Scotland groups. Just go along to one of them, and you'll see how welcoming it is. You don't feel like you've got to run continuously. Go out and walk for a bit, and then maybe jog for a couple of minutes, walk, and just gradually increase the amount of time you're running and decrease the amount of time you're walking. But don't feel worried that you've got to run continuously, and you'll be surprised how you start to make progress. And definitely don't start running every day, because that will mean you'll be at risk of injury. Just build it up gradually, maybe a couple of times a week to begin with, but be confident in yourself, believe you could do it, and just realize by going along that the running community is really inclusive, and you see that at Park Run, don't you? And if you feel nervous, you could even volunteer and watch everyone else and realise, this is for everybody. And even if you go along to your local Jog Scotland group and introduce yourself and say, I don't feel confident to take part tonight, but can I just see what it's all about? And you'll realise how welcoming everybody is, and you'll soon get the running bug and go for it. And with the bad weather that we might have going into the winter, I think as long as you wrap up, wear the appropriate clothing, there's no such thing as bad weather, just the wrong clothing. Just wear lots of layers and get out there and enjoy it. I think getting some daylight as well at this time of year, if you can, is good as well, like going out in your lunch hour or whatever, try and get some daylight in. But yeah, don't be sort of worried. You can do it, and just go for it, and you won't look back.
Brilliant advice. Thank you very much. And I suppose just the other thing is, for some of our more experienced runners, perhaps people who've been running for many years, what are your tips for keeping that enthusiasm going? And especially perhaps if people have been competitive when they're younger, they get to a point where, they're not chasing faster and faster times anymore, but you need to find a way to stay motivated. What do you find is helpful for that?
Yeah, I think there's always goals you can set yourself. It doesn't matter if the goals are different goals than you've had before. Like, I've enjoyed trying to run a certain time for 10K, and I know it's not going to be the times that I ran a few years back, but it's still fun to try, and also enter events. Still, I think you keep entering events. It doesn't matter if you don't run as fast as you're hoping, you're still being part of an event, and it gives you a real boost. And when you cross the line and you get to chat with other runners and you've all done that event together, I find that really boosts how I feel. Oh wow, it's just so lovely to be a part of the running community. I'd say go along to your local park run as well. But yeah, just always set yourself some goals. It doesn't have to be a goal to run really quick. It could be a goal to take part in something new. Like, I sometimes think, I'd quite like to run an ultra in the future, because I've never tried that. And, nowadays people do all these amazing challenges, and I feel like I'm missing out on something there. So I'm thinking, that's something I haven't done yet. And there's always something new you can try. It doesn't matter how fast you run, just find yourself new challenges. But, take in the social side of running as well. And, obviously there's so many social networking sites for runners that really keep everyone involved. But just get out and enjoy it. Make it fun, do varied sessions, get out in the great outdoors, but most of all, make it enjoyable. That's the main thing.
Brilliant advice. Thank you very much, Jo. And thank you for joining us on Saturday and spending time with so many of the Jog Scotland members who are there, and for joining us again today. It's a real pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, to everyone for the amazing time I had at the awards night. Everyone was so lovely, and I was so inspired to see people, at all levels, the elite runners, all the coaches, all the volunteers, all the officials, everyone from clubs, everyone from the running community, all together celebrating, the sport. And it's absolutely lovely to see, and it was a brilliant night. And well done to all the winners and everyone that was shortlisted too.